I've been waiting for this Mustang Mach-E update for a while. I'm really excited I finally got it. If you're like me and you have an Android phone, you can now do EV route planning via your Android phone and Android Auto and do it natively within the car, and it does battery preconditioning as well. Super cool features. Let's check it out. Hi, I'm Patrick, and this is the Mach-E vlog. You may remember last year at CES, back in 2024, early in the year, we were at the Google booth at CES, and we heard about that they are going to allow like EV route planning within Android Auto for the Mustang Mach-E and the Ford Lightning, so that it can handle, your EV route planning your stops and all that good stuff. It did not happen last year, but now it finally has been rolling out. We actually just got this update just a couple of days ago, and I wanted to share all the features and details with you. First of all, I was going to show you like the setup process, because I did the same thing with iPhone and Apple Maps a couple of years ago when that first started working. So I was going to do the same thing here, but I really didn't have to do any setup. I've always had my phone connected using Android Auto. I use Android Auto and Google Maps a lot. As soon as I got the update, all of a sudden I started seeing the battery percentages here. So basically the magic is behind the scenes. Once you get the update in the car, your phone already has all the capabilities, so it just starts working and you should be good to go. Now, I do have some questions I'll have to dive into. Maybe I'll do that later in this video, or in a different video, I'm not really sure. But what I might have to do is, like, how do you switch? Like, if you have two Mach-E's or a Mach-E and a Lightning, how do you switch from one to the other? We'll have to investigate that a little bit. But I wanted to dive in to some of this and also show you like some sample routes and see how it handles the actual EV routing. So let's go do that. Okay, let's first just start with right off the bat, like, here's like it's showing like percentages to home, Southern California prosthetics. We'll get to that. That's where we're headed today. That's a little bit later in the video, but it's like showing percentages and estimates already without me actually having to do any like navigation or anything like that. Basically it's, of course, Google Maps, so it's sort of knowing where I might want to go. But what I wanted to do was do some like estimates of some trips that we have done before and sort of evaluate it in real time, and compare it to like trips that we've already done and sort of say, like, does this look like a good route planning? So first of all, let's do one that we've done multiple times, and we may have to blur out some of this because it's going to show our home address. So let's get rid of that. Okay, now Denver is one we've done multiple times, and we're going to see what it does. Hopefully we're in good cell reception here. So I can tell you right now, it's doing the I-15 to I-70 that we've done a few times already, and it's showing our charging stops. So let's go ahead and tap on this. I did tell it in the settings. That is one of the things that I did set up previously, and said that I do have NACS available. So that was one little thing that I had to make sure I added. So the first one is saying Barstow, a Tesla supercharger there. There's actually a couple of stations there, so I'm not exactly sure which one, but both of those are fine and compatible if we have the NACS adapter. So that I would agree with, definitely. The next one is Shell Recharge in Las Vegas. That's one I would not want to trust. I don't know where that one's at. I'm not 100%, completely familiar with stops in Las Vegas, but more than likely I would find a Tesla supercharger to use there. Or there's a couple of EA chargers that are a good option. One at the outlet south of Las Vegas, and then one at a Costco or Sam's Club that's just north of Las Vegas. So that one I don't think I would use that. Electrify America in Washington, that's near St. George, Utah. Whoops. It's hard to scroll through here. We'll just do it this way. Again, that's probably not a bad stop. Probably not that busy. If it were busy, there's also Tesla superchargers nearby. So this is one where I would probably want it to prefer like a Tesla supercharger in some of these busier spots. But these are not bad stops. These are stops that I've used when we didn't have Tesla supercharger access, including Beaver, Utah, Salina, it's hard to see, Green River. We basically always have to stop at Green River, and there's no supercharger option there that we can use. Parachute, which I think we've stopped there. And then Frisco, and then Denver. And that some of these are a little bit, I would say, pessimistic, because I think we could probably go from Parachute all the way to Denver, potentially. I'm not sure. But anyways, let's see if I can tap and get more information. Yeah. So if I tap on one of the charging stops, it's giving me the details. It's like very fast charging, 12 chargers within AC Hotel, Frisco, Colorado. So not bad to show some of that stuff. It's showing the amenities. So that's pretty cool. Like 450 feet, there's a coffee shop. 500 feet, there's a Starbucks. 500 feet away, there's a Safeway. I really like that it's showing those. The big negative right here is, like, I would love to be able to see like how many of those charging stations are in use. Like this one wouldn't matter right now because we're so far away from it. But like my next charging stop, it'd be nice to have like real-time data. So that's one negative. It's also showing me like the rating of the supercharger or whatever charging stop. Let's see if I can pick, let's do Green River and see what it says about that. 3.5 stars. That's about what I would give Green River. I love Green River coffee. But it's often busy and derated and whatever. So it's also indicating that it's Electrify America, and I believe, yeah, it's just saying that I can pay with Electrify America. Anyway, it's giving me the number of compatible plugs. Incompatible is Chatamo. So yeah, not bad overall route planning to Denver. I would probably finagle some of those stops like we did on our last trip and replace some of the like EA stations with superchargers, only because some of those EA stations can get really, really busy. Let's do another one real quick. This time we're going to have to blur this out, whoever's editing. Let's go ahead and go to San Francisco. We just did this one recently as well. And we did some, different stops there because we had some deviations from our route. But let's see here. All right, we're going to say start. Oh no, let's just tap on charging stops. So yeah, it's sort of like, here's a supercharger you can use. I'm not familiar with that one, but that might be the one that we stopped at. And then an EA station, and then another supercharger. We didn't go into San Francisco that way. We went in through San Jose, Gilroy. But yeah, again, not a bad route plan. Now, of course, the devil is in the details. Is like, how accurate is it in doing estimates of the range? We're just trying this out for the first time. So what I want to do today is like I said, we're going up to Southern California Prosthetics. It's about 60 miles away, 50 miles away, 70, I'm not sure. But we're going to go up there and see how well it estimates the range on that short of a trip. Of course, there's a lot of variables that these systems have to take into account, including the forward nav. So I think what we'll do is we'll do this just simple test just for right now, just so I can show you what it's like, and we'll do the route planning to Southern California Prosthetics. And as a bonus, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the route planning as well in Apple Maps as well as the forward nav, and show you the difference. And what's really great about the Google Maps integration, as I mentioned earlier, is that it will do battery preconditioning if I have to stop at a DC fast charger, supercharger, or EA or whatever. So just like the native nav, it's going to do preconditioning as we get closer to the fast charger. We're not going to test that out today, but I wanted to note that because the Apple Maps / Carplay integration does not allow for preconditioning at this time. I don't know if it ever will or not, but I think that's like a huge bonus. When we looked at it last year at CES, that was not part of the features that they were talking about. It was not going to be able to precondition. I'm really happy that they've allowed for that. I wouldn't mind having a manual precondition button, but that's another topic. So this is rolling out now to Ford Lightning and Mustang Mach-E owners right now. we are in the early access program, but I know people that have had this for a couple of months. So we definitely did not get it early. Hopefully you have seen it, but let's go ahead and do our route planning. And then when we get up to Santa Ana and Southern California prosthetics, we'll wrap it up with some more info. So anyways, let's go ahead and do that. So now we are headed to a doctor's appointment for Liv. It's Southern California Prosthetics is where we're going to go. So we're going to do the routing here and also compare it to the Ford Nav and Apple Maps to sort of see what battery percentage. They're all going to say the same route, which, just because there's basically one route to get us there. And just because I was at home on my phone and searching for it, it's already like up here because I'm already connected to Android Auto. My phone is already like sort of shared the information. So anyways, you can see it's already saying 63%. We're going to go ahead and tap on it and then let it go ahead. We'll hit start. And just to confirm, 61%. So there are some slowdowns. It's letting me know. But yeah, 61% from here to Southern California Prosthetics. 56 miles. It's basically down California 76. We're at the Mission, San Luis Rey Mission, and we're going to Southern California Prosthetics. It's 56 miles. It'll be the same on all of these. And I sort of picked this route because I know it's a little bit of like expressway and then pretty much freeway the whole way there. It isn't going to be like a big, huge test to compare this with the others, but we do want to do some comparisons to see how they estimate the percentages to get there. So let's check it out. For comparison purposes, we're also going to do this routing in Apple Maps and see how accurate it estimates our arrival. So let's go ahead again. We're going to do Southern California Prosthetics. I was just searching for it, so it's pretty much one of the last things. And it's saying 59% battery upon arrival. We're at 87%. 59%. So let me go ahead and we'll move on to using the Ford Nav. So next up, let's try the Ford navigation. So we're going to do, this one will take longer because I haven't searched it on my phone or anything like that. Actually, it's not bad. I think I have it as a save place, but Southern California Prosthetics. And let's see, it's not saying exactly what percentage that will arrive at. Let's just say go.
Obey traffic laws, be alert and use voice commands while driving.
And let's see here, we'll click on details. It's saying I'll arrive at 65%. So what was it, 59%? And then now 65%. So we're gonna keep track of those and compare it to the Google Maps. And ta-da, we're here. So we finished at 63%. I'll put in some caveats that we did have to run to the bathroom and recorded some extra stuff. So maybe we used a little bit more battery before we actually pulled out of that parking lot, but we finished at 63%. So you can see that the Apple Maps saying 59% was the most off, but it was also, it's sort of like not being overly optimistic. So that may be what you prefer, but 63%, that's basically, what Google Maps was saying when we pulled out of the Mission to come here. I believe it dropped and said it was going to be 62% upon arrival. So that's, pretty darn spot on. The Ford Nav was a little bit over optimistic, but overall, not bad. I think the real test will be when we go on a road trip and we can do like a 150-mile trip, including elevation and changing weather and things like that. It is something to be aware of, and it is something that you will sort of have to get to know yourself. By the way, one thing within the Ford Nav system is you have your EV driving history. You can get to it by going into the charging screen, pressing and holding, and that will reset your EV driving history. So if your range estimates of your native Ford Nav system are really off, you can reset that and it may help things get back to normal. I know ours will change. When we do our big 2,000-mile road trip, for a while, it basically thinks every time I go out, I'm going to go on a long road trip. So it's very pessimistic about my range. Same thing if there's like a lot of cold weather driving. So there are times where you may want to reset that. But anyways, overall, I'm very impressed so far with how easy it is to integrate the Google Maps / Android Auto with the EV route planning. It seems to do a decent job of adding in stops. I may deviate, but one of the great things is, and this is what I really like, is that there's options. So I could look at the Ford Nav, I could look at the Google Maps. If you have an Android and iPhone, you can do both. So it sort of like gives you some options to do your EV route planning. A lot of people will just stick to one, and that's probably fine. I used to mostly use Google Maps around town and then Ford Nav on road trips, and that's because it would precondition. But there are reasons that now I will probably use Google Maps. One of those is that right now, the Tesla superchargers have not been entered into the Ford Nav system. We're coming up on close to a year of having Tesla supercharger access, and it's not in there yet. They just posted something on Mach-E forum that they will be adding those in for 2025 models, and I'm assuming that will come to previous models. It better, or else I'll be upset. But right now, the best way, if you want to include Tesla superchargers and like EA, EVgo, ChargePoint, is to use the Google Maps integration. So I'm really happy that I can do that. And hopefully that'll also come to Apple Maps and all of this other stuff. But it's really cool to have options. I unfortunately have to say, like, none of them are 100% perfect. But right now, my preference is the Google Maps with Android Auto. So really cool to have this added. And I love the fact that, you know, we have a 2022, we're in 2025. These updates are still coming for the older cars. Everybody's always worried. It's like, when are the 2021s or 2022s going to be forgotten? So far, they haven't been. Speaking of updates, not necessarily related to this, but Blue Cruise 1.3, we have it on this car, and we know some people with 2021s that have been getting Blue Cruise 1.3. So the updates are making its way out there. So I'm going to wrap up this video. If you have any questions about the integration, if you need me to go into further detail, do a deep dive video, let me know any questions that you have down below. If you have any more questions about EV route planning in general or with Apple Maps, I did that Apple Maps video probably like 2 years ago, maybe 2.5 years ago. So let me know if you need me to, you know, like redo any of those videos. If you have any questions about any of the EV route planning stuff. Hopefully we'll get the Tesla superchargers added to all of them fairly soon. But just going to wrap this up. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you again, as always, to our Patreon members. You guys have been with us, some of you guys, for over 3 years now. It's amazing. We've added YouTube memberships. Oh, I should say Patreon members. We have the Unbridled, we have the Engaged, and we have the Whisper Patreon members. So thank you guys all. We also have added YouTube memberships, which is slowly growing in the background. But we appreciate you guys as well. You guys can use special emojis, and we try to give you guys little treats. So with the YouTube members and Patreon members, they get like previews of some of our videos, for example. So anyways, all that information is down below, and I'm going to like take my mic off or point it at Liv. No, she's just going to make me say it. Just remember, whatever you drive and however you route your Mach-E or Lightning, enjoy the ride. Bye, and bye from Liv. She says bye.